All right, let's jump right into this. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us for today's explainer because we are doing something, well, completely different. Normally, we take these massive, incredibly dense reports and break them all down for you. But today, our source material is an exercise in absolute extreme minimalism. We're looking at a document that contains exactly 2 words. Seriously, that's it. Just 2 words, sitting completely alone in this vast sea of white space. But let me tell you, those 2 little words carry an immense, almost suffocating atmospheric weight. So we're going to deconstruct this text, look at its linguistic impact, and really explore the heavy silence that surrounds it.
Section 1. The moniker. 2 isolated words.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire focus of our explainer today is going to remain laser-focused purely on this raw, unadorned source text we've been given. No outside context, no deep-dive police reports, just the text. And here it is. Zodiac killer. Notice how these 2 isolated words just sit there, all alone. You've got the lowercase k in killer and the capitalized Z in zodiac. In the document we're looking at, there's literally no introduction, there's no conclusion. There is only this moniker, suspended in absolute total silence.
Let's isolate that very first word, zodiac. Just look at the visual weight of this single noun when it's floating there all by itself. It's a word that instantly evokes, ancient maps, the constellations, the slow turning of the night sky. When it's standing completely alone like this, it feels incredibly distant. It almost feels mythological.
And then we abruptly hit this, killer. The second word of our source text. It completely, utterly shatters the atmosphere we just built up, bringing us crashing right down into this ominous, brutal reality. The sudden drop from the ethereal, starry heavens to something so violently visceral is immediate. It's totally jarring.
So when you look at these 2 words joined together, you really have to pause and ponder the sheer weight they carry. What actually lies behind this name? The complete and utter lack of surrounding information in our source material creates this profound, echoing mystery. It literally forces our brains to try and fill in the blanks, simply because the text itself stubbornly refuses to give us anything else. Section 2. Defining the terms, deconstructing the text.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the literal conceptual breakdown of these 2 words, specifically their base definitions. It explains why they create such intense friction when you place them side by side. By definition, the zodiac is celestial. It's a belt of the heavens, specifically within about 8 degrees on either side of the ecliptic. It encompasses the apparent positions of the sun, the moon, the planets. This definition evokes something vastly huge, untouchable, cosmically large. It belongs up in the stars, far, far removed from our human fragility. But then we flip to the definition of our second word, a person or thing that kills. Contrast that with the sprawling, celestial definition we just read. This is incredibly grounded. It's harsh, it's final, and it's a starkly violent reality. It is, for all intents and purposes, the absolute antithesis of a celestial concept. And this brilliantly illustrates the inherent tension of our source text. We have the celestial and astrological slammed right up against the brutal end-ground level. It's just a massive juxtaposition, right? You're taking the infinite expanse of the heavens and tying it directly to the ultimate earthly finality. It really makes you stop and ask, why this exact combination? Out of all the words in the English language, why join a word of the heavens with a word of death? The linguistic anomaly right here is exactly what makes the source text feel so inherently menacing. It takes something universal, something ancient, and taints it with something lethal. Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 3, the lingering echo, the void of information. So we need to see how this builds into the broader context of our source material, or, well, actually, the lack thereof. We're going to shift our focus now from the literal words to the absolute, resounding absence of any other data, the void. This is the starkest reality of our source document. Aside from the 2 words we've just spent time analyzing, there is nothing else. The document gives us no suspects, it outlines no victims, it provides 0 complex ciphers or geographic locations. There is just the moniker floating there, entirely surrounded by an informational void. Which naturally brings us right back to the original text, Zodiac Killer. When you repeat it, it serves as this rhythmic anchor. With absolutely no other information to distract us, the phrase becomes totally monolithic. It stands alone as a complete narrative in and of itself, simply because the surrounding silence forces it to bear the entire heavy weight of the document. So the crucial point breaks down into 3 very distinct parts. First, we have the moniker itself. Second, we have that stark contrast between the celestial and the brutal. And finally, we have the silence of the source material. The blank space surrounding the text isn't just empty formatting. In this kind of deconstruction, the blank space actually symbolizes the enduring mystery itself.
I want to leave you with this final, lingering thought. If the name is truly all that remains, what does it mean to you? When you strip away all external context, all historical data, and you're left with just two isolated words on a blank page, the atmospheric weight is immense. It basically asks you to look right into the void and see what echoes back. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly unique, minimalist explainer today. I really hope it sparked a totally new way of looking at how we process text, mystery, and silence. Catch you next time.